a brand new week. I'm Anne Asis-Carilo. Let's make sure your Monday is off to a great start with good vibes, inspiration, information, and the best company.
Happy Monday. I'm Monique Tuzon. Your mornings are always more fun with us. Join us in the next hour and a half for stories and conversations that matter. Happy Holy Week. I'm sure everybody is so excited this week because we have a short week. I'm pretty sure some people are already on vacation. They have a week leave.
Yes, I think most of the schools are already on their Holy Week break. That's why when I left home this morning, I was expecting like lighter traffic, but no, I was actually surprised.
I wonder why.
I have no idea. Maybe because some people are heading to the bus terminals along EDSA,
maybe.
getting ready to have their early vacation.
Yeah, they're probably leaving today.
That's probably it. Or maybe they just all decided to leave home early today because it's a Monday and you know, it's just half of the work week, so they just want to give it their all today on a Monday. And
speaking of giving our all, we got a
Yes.
girl and girl tandem this morning. Girl power on a Monday. That's why we're wearing pink.
Exactly. And Coach V later on. So it's going to be a girl trio on a Monday.
Yes, hi to Paolo. I hope you're enjoying Boracay and I hope you're getting tan. We expect you to look super sunburnt tomorrow.
Naka-sunbathing pa si Pao, like lying on the sand with his drink.
Sana all.
Sana all. Oh my God. He just left us here. Oh my goodness. And he didn't even tell us in advance,
At least
remember?
he'll be back tomorrow. It's okay. He's gonna make bawi. We'll be gone naman. We'll leave him alone.
I know. On Tuesday and Wednesday.
Like, bye, Pao, you got the show. No, I'm kidding. We won't ever do that to Pao Pao.
Yes. But that's why I actually stressed on the best company, because you got girl power happening today on a Monday. But we got a jam-packed show.
We do.
Yeah, aside from Coach V, we will be talking to, I'm actually interested in one of our interviews for later, because a Filipino developer came up with this AI medical app. No, it's not an app. It's actually a platform.
Yeah.
This is perfect for you.
No, it's perfect for you too. I was gonna say, because Anne is so against AI. So we're gonna talk about how it's just gonna assist.
Yes.
Especially for doctors, instead of giving like a 4-day prognosis, it's gonna take like an hour instead, which I think is amazing. And it's made here at home in the Philippines, which is even more amazing. So I can't wait to talk to them.
Just to clarify, I'm not really against AI as long as it assists humans and not replace humans.
There we go. Okay.
But we'll talk about that, more about that later on. So do join us for the next hour and a half. But first, let's give you some news that you can use this morning. Let's check out the major roads in Metro Manila at this hour. Here's a look at EDSA White Plains. On the left side is the southbound lane going to Shaw Boulevard. You will be slowing things down a bit as moderate traffic is already building up on that stretch. On the opposite lane, the northbound lane headed to Cubao, light traffic on that area. Now here's what's happening along EDSA Orense in Makati. Left side of your screens are vehicles going to Pasay. On the right side is the northbound lane headed to Shaw Boulevard. It's still early, so light traffic on that stretch. The expanded vehicle number coding scheme is in full swing, guys. It's a Monday. Vehicles with license plates ending in 1 and 2 should be off the road right about now until 10 a.m. and again later from 5 p.m. to 8 p.m. Now we got some good news for motorists traveling during the Holy Week. Expect a huge rollback in oil prices this week. Gasoline could go down by as much as 3 pesos and 75 centavos per liter starting Tuesday, April 15. Diesel prices could decrease by up to 3 pesos and 40 centavos per liter, while kerosene 3 pesos and 50 centavos per liter. The Energy Department says factors for the rollback include escalating U.S.-China trade tensions, which have led to fears of recession and reduced demand for crude oil. Now, what's the weather going to be like this Monday? Monique gives us today's forecast from Weather HQ. Take it away, Mo.
Thank you so much, Anne. Now, the country is experiencing the influence of 2 weather systems today. The frontal system bringing cloudy skies with rain showers in some parts of northern Luzon, particularly in the Batanes region, Cagayan, and Apayao. Now, residents in these areas are strongly urged to remain alert as there is a risk of flash floods or landslides due to moderate to, at times, heavy rainfall. Now, meanwhile, the presence of the easterlies will bring cloudy skies with scattered rains and thunderstorms in Zamboanga Peninsula, Basilan, Sulu, and Tawi-Tawi, as we see here behind me. Now, for the rest of the country, these easterly winds will continue to bring humid conditions throughout the country, leading to rising temperatures and higher humidity levels across the entire archipelago. Now let's see how these two weather systems affect the heat index forecast from Pag-asa. Several areas are experiencing severe heat, placing them in the danger zone. 3 locations with a heat index of 44 degrees Celsius include Echaga Isabela, Sangli Point Cavite, and Metro Manila. Now, other locations in the danger zone with a heat index of 43 degrees Celsius include Dagupan, Pangasinan, Tuguegarao, Cagayan, Subic Bay, Olongapo City, San Ildefonso, Bulacan. Additional areas in the danger zone with a heat index of 43 degrees Celsius include Tanawan, Batangas, San Jose Occidental, Mindoro, and Dipolog, Zamboanga del Norte. Now, with these extreme heat conditions, it is vital to take precautions, stay safe, hydrated, and vigilant during these hot weather conditions. Now, regarding the sea conditions, as you can see, there is no gale warning in effect, which means fishermen and mariners can safely head out to sea. However, it is essential to stay alert and monitor any weather updates or advisories that may be issued. Weather conditions can shift rapidly, so it is vital to always prioritize safety and be prepared. And that's your weather forecast today, and back to you.
Thank you so much, Mo, for that weather update. Overseas Filipino workers can now cast their votes ahead of the upcoming midterm polls next month. The OFWs can vote until May 12 at 7 p.m., in line with the voting schedule in the Philippines. Pinoys in New Zealand were the first to vote. COMELEC confirmed that the system underwent a verification process, successfully recording and counting all test ballots accurately. The internet voting system is in place with COMELEC officials, technical experts, and representatives from the PPCRV supervising the process.
In the latest twist in the lead-up to the midterm polls, PDP Laban President and Senator Robin Padilla has officially endorsed re-electionist Senator Amy Marcos. The presidential sister made the announcement over the weekend, sharing a brief conversation with Padilla. This endorsement comes on the heels of Senator Marcos's decision to withdraw from the administration-backed Alyansa para sa Bagong Pilipinas last March. The PDP Laban president clarifies the endorsement comes from a personal standpoint and not of the whole party. Marcos earlier said she could not campaign alongside the rest of the alliance, citing her intent to remain independent throughout the election period. Her withdrawal has fueled speculation about a possible rift between her and her brother, President Bongbong Marcos Jr. The president has noticeably skipped her name in previous campaign rallies.
Camille Villar apparently gets a boost in her senatorial bid, with support coming from Vice President Sara Duterte. Former presidential spokesperson Harry Roque shared photos of Villar with the Duterte's signature fist bump pose, along with VP Sara. Roque stated, "Politics is addition after all," in his caption. Camille Villar is currently running alongside the administration-backed Alyansa para sa Bagong Pilipinas. According to the OVP, they will respond to the circulating social media posts after the Holy Week.
President Bongbong Marcos is calling on Filipinos to draw strength and hope from the story of Christ this Holy Week. In a message, the president urged the nation to embrace resilience, compassion, and faith, values exemplified in Jesus' suffering, death, and resurrection. He encouraged the public to reflect on Christ's sacrifice and to let life's trials strengthen their character and compassion for others. Mr. Marcos also hoped that the Holy Week would be a time for families to reconnect and find comfort in one another's presence.
Thousands of police personnel have been deployed throughout Metro Manila in time for Holy Week. The National Capital Region Police Office, or NCRPO, says security has been tightened in transportation hubs, commercial centers, malls, parks, and recreational spots. Police personnel have been deployed to over 300 churches in the metro, with others manning major roads, checkpoints, and transport terminals. The police have also increased their presence in malls, with officers also on standby for possible emergencies.
The National Telecommunications Commission is ready to extend assistance for the public during Holy Week. The NTC has directed all regional directors to coordinate with disaster risk officials, civic action groups, and even amateur radio groups to provide the necessary assistance within their respective areas of jurisdiction. The NTC added that the initiative aims to ensure the safe travel of Filipinos during the Holy Week. The Commission also instructed the regional directors to coordinate with LGUs and disaster risk management councils to help inform the public through radio, TV, and cable TV stations.
All hands on deck as well for the Philippine Coast Guard this Holy Week. The PCG is implementing heightened security measures to protect passengers and secure port areas until Easter Sunday. The agency will deploy 17,000 Coast Guard personnel with security measures in place in port terminals. Additionally, Coast Guard rescuers are on hand to assist lifeguards at popular maritime tourist destinations.
Expect more vehicles to pass through the North Luzon Expressway, or NLEX, this week. Toll operators say all lanes will be open 24/7, with the afternoon of Holy Wednesday the most jam-packed until the afternoon of Monday, Thursday. Up to 385,000 vehicles a day are expected to pass through NLEX this week, which is 10% higher than the daily average of 350,000. Starting 2 p.m. on April 16, a counterflow scheme will also be implemented in areas prone to heavy traffic starting April 16 at 2 p.m. Zipper lanes will also be opened on the northbound side to ease traffic for motorists returning to Manila after the Holy Week break.
In world news, thousands flocked to Bangkok streets on Sunday to celebrate Thailand's traditional New Year in sweltering April heat. Celebrators joyfully blasted water and danced to music along a half-kilometer stretch of the capital's Khao San Road. The festivities came weeks after an earthquake rattled neighboring country Myanmar. Thailand Tourism Ministry says they are maintaining their 38 million foreign tourist arrivals in 2025 despite the recent earthquake. The festival traditionally signals the end of dry season and the beginning of a new agricultural cycle. The multi-day celebration is often dubbed the world's biggest water fight, a symbol of cleansing and renewal.
Pope Francis paid a short visit at St. Peter Basilica in the Vatican City on Sunday's Easter Palm celebrations. A video released by the Vatican shows the pontiff being escorted into the basilica and taking a moment to pray. Pope Francis greeted the crowds by the end of the service from his wheelchair as he continues to recover from double pneumonia. This is the Pope's second public appearance since being discharged from hospital 3 weeks ago. It is still unknown how much he will participate in the forthcoming Holy Week.
Now in sports, the NU Lady Bulldogs are all set for the Final Four in UAAP Season 87. The defending champs secured the twice-to-beat advantage after sweeping the Ateneo Blue Eagles on Sunday. Queen Bulldog Bella Belen led the girls from Sampaloc with 16 points, plus 13 receptions and 10 digs. Up next for NU, the UST Golden Tigresses on Easter Sunday, April 27. And the UP Fighting Maroons stay in race to the semis with a heart-stopping 5-set victory over the De La Salle Lady Spikers. Joan Monares led the Diliman-based squad with 16 points, along with 7 digs and 5 receptions. Now from the Terraflex to the hard court, the Converge Fiber Xers coasting to victory in the PBA Philippine Cup. The Fiber Xers take down the Blackwater Bossing on Sunday. Best player of the game, Shawnee Winston, strutted his stuff for Converge with 16 points, 5 assists, and 3 rebounds. In the next game, the Phoenix Fuel Masters zapped the Meralco Bolts 109-97. Best player of the game, Richie Rivero, was on target from long range, knocking down all 4 of his triples to finish with 20 points.
Now let's talk entertainment. Coachella kicks off its first weekend with Charlie XCX bringing the brats out. The singer brought her signature club party energy to the festival. Followed by one of the official headliners for this year, Green Day, not one to shy away from politics, swapped the lyrics of one of their iconic songs to I'm Not Part of the MAGA Agenda. Ending the night was Travis Scott, who had massive bursts of fire and strobe. The Sicko Mode rapper was also joined by Playboy Cardi and Don Toliver. Now, can artificial intelligence help address the issue of healthcare access in the Philippines? Our conversation with the founders of an AI system that aims to do just that after the break. It's a beautiful day. We'll be right back. Welcome back. You're still watching. It's a beautiful day. A locally developed AI aims to help doctors in diagnosis, cutting a typical turnaround from 4 days to an hour-long consultation process. The founders of the groundbreaking technology plans to utilize the platform to reach out far-flung areas and respond to the lack of healthcare workers in the country. They're joining us this morning to talk about DocMate AI. Niño Namoco, One Life President, and Dr. Matt Navarro, One Life Medical Director. Good morning, guys.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Thank you for coming this morning. What you guys are doing, I think, is amazing. Anne and I were chatting about it this morning, how AI is a good tool if it helps in assisting, right? Not technically taking over somebody's job. But let's talk about what DocMate AI is first and foremost.
So I'll be discussing this one. So One Life has its community healthcare system that we use during our field operations. So with that, it has its own electronic medical records, which collects all the data or information, patient's information during their consultation. And then what we did is we integrated our AI technology with our system.
Okay.
So all the information, all the gathered information of the patient is analyzed by the AI, including the patient's medical history, the vital signs, the test results that was done, the patient, and the physical examinations. So all of this is being analyzed by the AI, and then it will give its recommendation, or it will generate a recommended diagnosis for the doctors. And from there, the doctors will choose from the diagnosis or the recommended diagnosis which one fits the condition of the patient.
Okay.
And then the AI will then generate its recommended treatment and other suggestions based on the latest clinical practice guidelines.
How long is this process from gathering the information to giving all the recommended diagnosis to the doctor?
Well, basically, there's a lot of factors into it. Of course, the patient will first go into the registration and then do the diagnostic test. And then after, the patient will be consulting the doctors.
Yeah.
So technically, all those processes takes about, the consultation itself takes about maybe 5 to 10 minutes.
Okay.
Depends on the condition of the patient. But the overall experience of a patient roughly takes about an hour at most.
With the help of this new platform.
Yes.
Yes, yes.
Now, Niño, I want to ask you how you guys came up with this amazing idea to cut it from 4 days to 1 hour.
Okay. So One Life started during the pandemic. This is the founders or the partners that we have here are we've known each other. We're friends. We've known each other through a leadership organization or NGO. So we were helping communities way before, but the problem during the pandemic is because of COVID, all the resources of the government, all the health facilities were focused on the vaccination and treatment of COVID. So nobody was treating the primary care health services during that time. So that's the time we thought of something that we can do in order to help the communities in terms of healthcare, primary healthcare. So then it developed into a lot of things. We had a different version and we hired a lot of people. We invested a lot of our own resources. But we're happy right now that after 3 years, we have already seen around almost 1 million patients already.
Wow.
And right now, this year, we are treating around 3,000 to 5,000 patients a day.
Oh, wow. I know creating an AI platform is a difficult task in
Yeah.
itself. How long did it take you guys to create it from start to finish?
Okay, from start to finish, actually, this was already conceptualized last year since AI was a boom. And we already saw, because our company, since we're a health tech social enterprise company, so we know that AI can help with the efficiency for sure. So that's why we were able to conceptualize it since last year. But at the last quarter last year, we already developed it. So it's roughly around half a year before we finish the AI development.
Oh, wow.
But with the local developers, but we had foreign consultants for it. Yeah.
I mean, 1 year, that's amazing.
Right now, we are experiencing, a shortage of physicians here in the country. The Philippines currently has only 3 doctors per 10,000 patients, right? Significantly below the World Health Organization's recommended 10 per 10,000. Is that correct? The numbers are correct, right?
Actually, that's our reason why we developed this AI.
Yeah,
because
so
we know,
how does the platform bridge this gap?
Okay, so as what DocMate said, we relatively decreased the time of every consultation, because if you are going to be really thorough about the data of a patient, you're talking about hundreds of data points per patient when they get a consultation, from lab tests, their medical history and everything. So for a doctor just to check that takes a lot of time.
Right.
So this is why we use this. The DocMate AI is being used as a tool, so that the doctors, aside from the speeding up the consultation process, it also makes sure that all the data of a patient is being considered. So there's no missed data. So imagine, because doctors are also people, imagine if they are treating 30 patients, 40 patients a day. It's quite tedious and it's exhausting. So AI helps them with making it more efficient and accurate when they come with the diagnosis.
Right. Well, and I'm sure also people are wondering how accurate is DocMate AI, because sometimes people are saying it's different compared to human diagnosis where there's compassion, empathy, and maybe they can thoroughly double check versus an AI platform where maybe they can make mistakes. So let's debunk some of those myths and how accurate DocMate AI is.
Well, before we launch this AI platform, we rigorously tested it together with our healthcare professionals. So we invited a lot of healthcare professionals, and then we tested it again and again to make sure or to ensure that its accuracy.
Okay.
So far, during our testing, we found out that the accuracy of the AI DocMate is more than 95% when it comes to diagnosing especially common diseases. And this is checked or verified by our specialists decisions.
So when you launched the DocMate AI system, how did it go? How was the reception?
Okay, so during the launch, it was quite, we were quite happy with the result because usually to take care of around 300 patients, it takes us from 8 a.m. to 3 p.m.
Okay.
But now, during the AI launch, we were able to finish in 1 p.m. So it's basically made our operations much faster. And as what Doc Matt said, that it's really for us, it's more efficient, it's more accurate because AI, first our data, AI data came from Filipinos. So we all know that every race has different health conditions.
Yes,
so
yes.
our data is based on the genome of the Filipinos.
Right, right.
Second is that in terms of, again, doctors are still people. If you're dealing with a lot of patients a day, there's a lot of aspects involved that could make some mistakes when it comes to diagnose, or not mistakes, but miss some data.
Okay.
So this one, AI makes sure that the data, all data are considered.
Now, how can this platform be used more widely? Are you guys planning more government partnerships, private sector partnerships as well?
So our partnership is mostly with foundations, government, and LGUs. So right now, we want to spread this and share this technology to especially to far-flung areas that has very limited doctors. As you said, Kalina, we're only 30% of what World Health Organization ideal ratio for the doctors. So with this, we don't need to add more doctors because we're adding the efficiency. So maybe with this technology, instead of just getting for one doctor to treat around 30 patients a day, they could double it to 50 to 60 patients a day, which is like doubling the output of the doctor's capacity.
You know what, Niño, I know talking about DocMate AI system, it is really efficient and it cuts the time to get the correct diagnosis and it helps doctors, helps the patients as well. But right now, we'd like to address the elephant in the room, the threat of AI.
Because Anne's worried her job's going to get taken away by AI. That's why she's asking.
Jobs. And we were talking about this off air. In a recent interview, Bill Gates actually said that in 10 years, AI will be replacing teachers and doctors, and humans won't be needed in most industries, in most jobs. What are your thoughts on this?
Okay. For us, it's actually it's contrary to what Bill Gates said. No? At least for the Philippine setting, because what we believe is in AI, it's just a tool.
Right.
Okay.
In healthcare, a big factor in healthcare is also the compassion. No?
Right.
So,
that is so true.
So AI, I think that can't be delivered by AI. It don't only in one life we have this mantra: high tech, but still high touch. So this is what we believe, that compassion can't be given by the AI, but our doctors still can. And again, AI doesn't have a license. It's still going to be the doctor that will be making the decision, final decision for the patient. So it's just a tool. And even reducing the demand for healthcare workers, actually, we think there will be more demand here in the Philippines because of AI, because of the efficiency. It makes healthcare costs down. And it's going to make it more accessible to the population, for the people.
Yeah.
So making the demand for healthcare higher, which in return making the demand for healthcare workers become higher also.
Now, Doc Matt, what's next for DocMate AI, and who right now can access the platform? And for those interested in maybe checking out DocMate AI, where can they find you guys?
Well, currently, we're still putting a lot of improvements to the DocMate AI, making its interface a lot easier for the users. But currently, only our doctors from One Life has an access to the platform. But like what Pres Niño said earlier, eventually we'll do partnership with other institutions probably, and we are more than willing to share
Right.
this technology to other doctors as well.
Well, thank you guys so much for
Thank
coming
you.
this morning. I'm really looking forward to eventually, when I go to my doctor's office, DocMate will be there to help assist with my diagnosis. Ladies and gentlemen, that is Niño Namoco, One Life President, and Dr. Matt Navarro, One Life Medical Director.
And we've got more stories for you guys later on the show. A parent of a gifted young musician will join us to tell her story about raising a child with unique needs. So don't go anywhere. It's a beautiful day. We'll be right back.
Welcome back. You're still watching It's a Beautiful Day. Today, a strong 6.5 magnitude earthquake struck the south of the Fiji Islands. According to the United States Geological Survey, the quake was recorded at a depth of 174 kilometers. Last Sunday, a 5.9 magnitude earthquake shook Tajikistan in Central Asia. The European Mediterranean Seismological Center, or EMSC, reported that it occurred at a depth of 16 kilometers. In Papua New Guinea, a 5.7 magnitude earthquake was recorded on Sunday. The German Research Center for Geosciences said the quake struck at a depth of 10 kilometers. And in Myanmar, a 5.6 magnitude earthquake hit on Sunday. The EMSC reported that it struck at a depth of 35 kilometers. At this time, there are no additional reports of casualties or damage related to these earthquakes. We will continue to monitor the situation and provide updates as soon as more information becomes available.
Now, in other news, car fans had a field day at the 2025 Manila International Auto Show, where Billionario-backed auto brands rolled out their newest and sleekest rides. From luxury EVs to cutting-edge car tech, it was 4 days of pure automotive bliss. Our mobility correspondent, G. Baroga, takes us for a spin around the highlights.
This year's Manila International Auto Show, or MIA, celebrated a major milestone, turning the big 2-0. For 2 decades now, it's been the ultimate playground for car lovers, showcasing not just shiny displays, but also major local debuts of the hottest car models.
Over the years, MIA has witnessed the unveiling of groundbreaking models and rise of the electric and the hybrid technologies, and the growth of the passions community.
And this year, it was all about the future. New energy vehicles took center stage, proof that the shift to sustainable mobility is speeding up. One of the biggest players on the floor was AC Mobility, powered by the Zobel de Ayala family. Their booths proudly showcased BYD and Kia vehicles, but it wasn't just about the cars. It was about the bigger picture of building the charging infrastructure to match.
With every new charge point installed, with every EV on the road, and every innovation in charging technology brings us closer to a cleaner, a smarter, and more efficient way of moving.
Over at the Auto Hub Group, car connoisseur Willie Titan rolled out luxury head-turners from Mini, Lotus, and Chinese EV brand Zeekr. His goal is to rev up excitement and sales in a highly competitive market.
You need to concentrate on the unique selling propositions of each and every car. Some of them are based on pricing, some of them are based on specs, some of them are based on how it looks.
But it wasn't just the new kids on the block making noise. Nias also gave the spotlight to classic cars, custom builds, and the booming aftermarket scene. One standout was Concept One Wheels, eyeing the luxury market with their premium hopes.
We're targeting the European cars as well as high-end Japanese like Lexus. And so maganda yung product line niya for mga sedans, saka crossovers, and even sports cars like the Lotus.
From eco-conscious innovations to pure car eye candy, Mia's 2025 proved once again that when it comes to the road ahead, Filipino car culture is definitely in the driver's seat. For BNC Mobility, G. Baroga.
With every step, they marched or ran for a change. Thousands gathered for a running event that unites women, allies, and advocates in a powerful call for equality, safety, and respect. Joan Manalo has the story.
In a burst of energy and purpose, thousands laced up their running shoes and took to the UP Diliman Oval for Takbo Babae 2025, a movement that goes beyond the racetrack. The event featured 1 kilometer, 3 kilometer, and 5 kilometer routes, giving every participant, from casual walkers to experienced runners, a chance to join the call to action. 5K finisher Jewel Buensotro shared that the event was meaningful for her as a runner and a women's advocate.
I feel happy and very fulfilled kasi it's my first official run, and I'm happy because I was able to take part in this very meaningful event since I'm very vocal about my advocacies for women, for the LGBT, and for for human rights in general.
She added that advocacy runs like Takbo Babae further strengthen the call for women, children, and gender rights in a creative manner.
Very relevant po siya ngayon kasi hindi lang po siya hihikayat sa mga tao na sumali through physical activities, but it also pushes people to be more aware of different rights, different advocacies. Mas nagiging meaningful din yung experience kasi ginagawa natin siya not for ourselves but for the people around us.
Takbo Babae 2025 was organized by the Gabriela Women's Party, the UP Diliman Gender Office, the Quezon City Gender and Development Council, Gabriela Youth, and the UP Delta Lambda Sigma sorority. According to Gabriela Party List Representative Arlene Brosas, the run aimed to spread a powerful message. Violence against women and children has no place in society.
Yes, it is really important right now, kasi lalo ngayon, maraming mga bastos, lalo na sa mga kumakandidato. Gusto nating ipakita na ang kultura ng mga kababaihan dapat ay ginagalang, nirerespeto ang ating mga kababaihan, ang ating mga bata, para ipakita yung lakas ng collective talaga na strength ng kababaihan na manawagan para sa kanilang karapatan.
With every stride, Takbo Babae 2025 carried hope that by moving together, a safer and equal tomorrow is possible for women and children.
Mahalaga po na nakasama tayo dito kasi yung pinaparating natin sa mga mamamayan natin, yung ating mga agenda ng kababaihan, dito natin na-express.
Today, these women and their allies prove that change isn't just a destination. Rather, it is a movement and a commitment, one step and community at a time. Joan Manalo, Billionario News Channel.
Now is today, April 14, your lucky day. Let's go find out from our resident energizer and feng shui master, Hans Kua, in our horoscope of the day. Take it away, Master Hans.
Good morning! It's a beautiful day with me, Master Hans Kua. Ito po ang horoscope for today, Monday, April 14. Para sa mga pinanganak ng Year of the Rat, magplano ng maayos bago simulan ang mga proyekto para sa mas maayos na resulta. Red at 9. Kay Ox naman tayo. Siguraduhin na may tamang oras para sa pahinga upang maiwasan ang burnout. Orange at 6. Sa Tiger naman tayo, maging bukas sa kompromiso, hindi palaging dapat ikaw ang nasusunod. Green at 8. Kay Year of the Rabbit naman tayo, magtabi ng maliit na halagan araw-araw. Ito ay magiging malaking ipon sa future mo. Pink at 7. Kay Dragon naman tayo, ugaliin ang magbasa sa label sa mga pagkain upang malaman ang tamang nutrisyon. Purple at 4. Kay Snake naman tayo, ang matibay na relasyon ay nagsimula sa pagiging magkaibigan. Kilalanin muna siya bago magmahal. Yellow at 2. Ito naman sa Year of the Horsey. Ang pagiging maaga sa trabaho ay magbibigay ng magandang impresyon kay boss. Red at 5. Kay Ship naman tayo, mag-focus sa goals mo at iwasan magpadala sa mga distraction. Green at 9. Kay Monkey naman tayo, ugaliin ang pagkain ng gulay at prutas para sa mas maayos na digestion. Pink at 6. Kay Rooster naman tayo, ang pag-iwas sa impulsive buying ay makakapag-save ng mahalaking halaga. Yellow at 3. Kay Dog naman tayo, ang tiwala ay pundasyon sa relasyon. Unahin kesa selos. Orange at 4. Kay Pig naman tayo, ang pakikinig ay mahalaga sa relasyon. Huwag laging ikaw ang bida. Purple at 7. Ako po, si Master Hans Kua. Paalala lang ito po ay patnubay lamang. Ang tunay na swerte ay nagsisimula sa pagiging totoo. Abangan ang horoscope of the day dito lang po sa It's a Beautiful Day!
Thank you so much, Master Hans Kua. And we actually listened to the horoscope ni Paolo.
Yes, the
for the
horsey.
horse. And sabi, dapat maaga sa trabaho. Absent siya today, Master Hans. Oh my goodness. Actually, maaga siya for
Maaga
tomorrow.
siya, oo. But he's watching right now. Paolo, do we miss him?
Huh?
Do we miss him? He commented on our Facebook Live. We miss Paolo. Baka the Weather HQ misses him.
No, kasi he's waiting for someone to comment, where's Paolo? We miss Paolo. Wala. Sige, nawa ako nakala. We miss Paolo.
No, but okay, yeah, we do miss you, Paolo. It seems so empty here without you, but we're enjoying our little girl day today.
I know, and it's really fun. You know, it's like a girl power thing because we've got Coach V later on, and we have an interesting topic later for Coach V's segment. So you guys should be tuned in until later. But thank you again, Master Hans, for our horoscope for the day. Impulsive buyer Mo is gonna control herself from now on because that has been your horoscope for three times already.
And yesterday I got boodle at the mall. Came for one thing, I left for with 10 things. I'm like, oh my God, they had a sale kasi. You know, I can't pass up on a good sale.
Yeah, and you know what? I feel like we're so confident to shop now because we just had our color analysis session with Ingrid.
Exactly. So now I'm like, oh my God, this is my color, let me get that. It's so bad.
But anyway, guys, we have got more stories for you after the break, so stay with us. It's a beautiful day. We'll be right back. Hi there and welcome back. You're still watching It's a Beautiful Day. Neurodivergent individuals often see the world in extraordinary ways. Today, a mother shares the story of her son, a gifted young musician whose journey reminds us that brilliance can emerge in the most unexpected ways. Joining us via Zoom is Chie Gaerlan, the proud mom of Luis Ignacio. It's a beautiful day, Chie. Hello, welcome to the show.
Good morning. Thank you for having me.
So, Chie, you are the proud mom of a musical prodigy. He is 16 years old, if I'm not mistaken, yes?
Yes, he is turning 17 on May 26th.
Oh, advance happy birthday. Now, can you tell us, how did your son get into music? How did everything start?
I think Luis was around 3 or 4 when we actually bought him a tiny piano. It was a little red piano. It was basically just to help him with therapy and to give him something to focus his attention on. When he was newly diagnosed at around 2 years and 9 months, he really couldn't sit still. And so, as parents of newly diagnosed child, you just try and look for whatever will help. And that little red piano started it all for Luis.
Oh, and Luis plays the guitar as well, right? Not only the piano?
Correct. He recently, I'd say maybe last year, we just said maybe it's time to diversify because we do have high hopes that he could get into College of Music. In 2 years, he will be entering university. So it's good to be able to play multiple instruments, also learn how to compose your own music. So we as much as possible try to encourage him to play as many instruments as he can.
Chie, can you tell us what was the learning curve for him like? Did he learn these instruments faster than your typical child?
I would say that probably he did, because one thing about Luis is he has a very sharp ear. In fact, when he was a kid, when he sang, he was pitch perfect. It was because he could copy everything perfectly. And so for him, he would sometimes watch a YouTube video of someone playing a song that he likes. After 1 or 2 times listening to it, he can actually play it. He is a very gifted, he has a very good ear. So in terms of that, I think the learning curve wasn't as steep. But of course, he is also learning how to read notes, just like any musician. And I think when he was younger, the absorption was much quicker. Now that he's in his teens, because he's always distracted by some other thing, he wants to talk to his friends or watch YouTube. I'd like to think that maybe the learning curve is pretty similar to that of a regular neurotypical child. Yeah.
Chie, this incredible gift of music or gift for music, do you feel that it is in a way tied to his neurodivergence?
I think so. I mean, there is no scientific proof to this, but just maybe as a mom who has seen my child struggle, I was thinking that maybe this particular gift was given to him just to help him cope with life in a way that makes sense to him. For Luis, music, especially in the beginning, helped him make sense of a lot of things. His aptitude kind of skyrocketed during the pandemic when kids couldn't go out, remember?
Right.
2 years of lockdown. And it gave Luis a sense of purpose. It gave us, his parents, a sense of purpose as well, because at that time he was playing the piano to help raise funds for students who did not have access to Wi-Fi or didn't have gadget at home to learn virtually. So I think, yes, he may have a lot of issues and challenges when it comes to socialization, for example. But when it comes to music, Luis knows what he's doing. And I think it's probably something that complements or augments or makes up for the other things that he has problems with. Because at the end of the day, if he has a problem relating with people, they can easily talk about music,
Yeah, of course, music reunites, or not reunites, it unites us all. And I wish I was as talented as Luis when it comes to just listening and playing the song in a musical instrument. But Chie, I want to know, is there a certain type of music or a genre that Luis enjoys playing the most, especially when it's a challenging time for him? Does he always go back to like a certain piece?
When he was younger, of course, it was classical. As he got older, he started leaning more towards contemporary music. There was a time that he was playing so many BTS and Blackpink songs on the piano. Now he's learning a lot of songs. He is a bit of an old soul, so he likes Elton John, Billy Joel. He recently started playing songs of Toto, Rosanna, Africa. He can pretty much play anything, really. But when he's with me, he knows what I like, and he plays the songs that I like. I like his OPMs, and I love his classical songs as well.
Yeah, we're seeing the video, and a while ago he was playing Toto, and now Natalie Cole. Natalie Cole's Inseparable. Oh, I love that song. We're gonna get along, Luis. I'm gonna sing along as you play the piano. But Chie, can you tell us, did you have any challenges finding teachers, instructors, for Luis, teachers who understand his abilities?
You know what? Fortunately, finding teachers for him and a school for him for regular school was tough. But for music, it wasn't. It was it almost like seamlessly fell into place. His first formal music teacher was actually a former music teacher of his at his school. And so she already easily understood how Luis learned, because diba sabi nila, if they can't learn the way that you teach, you need to teach the way that they learn. And I think that's exactly what Luis's piano teacher did. She was able to motivate him, even online. Imagine as a child with so many issues paying attention. Online, she was able to do things, say things to him to keep him focused, to keep him wanting to learn. And so to answer your question, no, never had a problem. It was almost miraculous how easy it was.
Chie, did you guys have any unexpected discoveries about Luis that surprised you throughout this whole journey?
That he is, and I think this is not just true of him, but I think any parent for that matter, we always tend to underestimate our children, hindi niya kaya, we might not be able to do. But my goodness, Luis has been able to overcome a lot of his challenges by leaps and bounds. When he was 4 years old, I remember, I couldn't strap him on a plane seat because he just refused to sit. But now Luis travels the world. He loves to travel. He is very social. He likes to be included in a lot of things. He was actually even able to finish a summer internship at a veterinary clinic. I mean, if you told me just even last 2 years ago that he would be able to do all of these things, I would tell you that you were crazy. But he packs his own bags. He is very, very independent and self-sufficient. And that, for me, those two things, it surprised me, but also maybe it shouldn't have.
Chie, when you mentioned that we often underestimate our children, I couldn't agree more because, I'm a mom and we tend to do that, right? And actually, at times we want to do things for them just so, they won't have a hard time because we feel like hindi nila kaya. So, gawin na lang natin for them. But, throughout this whole journey, what have you learned, not just about Luis, but also what have you learned about yourself as a mom?
Well, as you said, you're a mom, so I'm sure you understand how anxious we can be, especially with a child that is not neurotypical. And I remember when he was younger, I used to stay up late nights thinking, will my son ever learn how to talk? When he finally learned how to talk, will my son ever develop, meaningful relationships? Will I actually be able to talk to him? And one thing that I've learned about myself also is that while I tend to worry a lot, I know when to put a stop to that so that I can allow him to grow. Sometimes our anxieties, our overprotectivity, we think that it's going to be good for our children because we are trying to protect them from every possible thing that can go wrong.
Right, that's true.
Realize you cannot do that. You need to be able to, as they say, just suck it in and allow them to make mistakes, encounter problems, and let them figure it out on their own. And I didn't know that I was the type of mother who could do that, but I have been able to do that despite, of course, being still very, very nervous. Luis has taught me to be braver, to be more hopeful, and just to be, in general, just be, just love life despite all of the challenges that are sent your way.
Motherhood doesn't really come with a with a textbook. You're just put in that situation, and you just do your best. And at the end of the day, when you look back, you're just so amazed at all the things that you were able to accomplish with your child, right? And it's not an easy journey. Were there moments when you look back with Luis and then, you told yourself like, wow, we've come so far?
Every day. Actually, when I talk to him, because when you have a child on the spectrum and you put them through therapy, sometimes their speech can sometimes seem robotic. And my fear was that I would not be able to have conversations with my son that would have meaning. He might just be parroting something that he's heard from a therapist. But every day that I talk to Luis, like I tell him, because we just recently got a cat, and our cat is a kitten, so it's
cute.
Still very makulit.
Okay.
And then Luis would say, "Oh, Mama, do you remember I was also makulit? Who's more makulit? Givert, that's the name of our cat." So for me, every day, these things remind me that yes, you can worry, and yes, you can prepare for the future. But I look at Luis now, who's taller than me. He's very protective. When we walk, he actually puts his arm around me and he tells me, "Mama, life is difficult. It's really just how it is." Like yesterday, I was having a bad day and he was telling me this. And that for me, we've come full circle. It was a time when I felt like I would not be able to console him when he was having a tantrum or when he was just not happy. And the roles are slowly being reversed. And I cannot wait to see what Luis can do, even much, much later on in life, when in fact it used to fill me with dread. Now I am very, very hopeful about his future. And what that can also mean to a lot of people who probably are looking at him and thinking, I wonder if my son will ever develop this way. Or, I think that Luis has taught me that he can be a self-advocate. And that to me is mind-blowing.
Yeah.
No, you guys are amazing. And I'm sure a lot of people look up to you, whether they have a neurodivergent kid or not. Like you guys, your story is just so admirable. But do you guys have any advice to parents who share this same situation as you and how they can thread on and just move forward?
I always say this, autism is not a death sentence. A lot of people say, oh, I lost my son to this diagnosis. You didn't lose your son or your daughter. It's just a very different son and daughter that the world is preparing you for. And so if you are a parent of a child who's still very, very young and you think that they could be on the spectrum, have them checked. There is nothing wrong with getting a diagnosis and a lot of people say, oh, I don't want to label my child because that will limit him. No, actually, when you know what your child has, it's a lot easier to find him help. Now, if you are a parent of a child who's already a little older, like my son is a young adult almost, I encourage you to try and find what they are good at. There is something that they're good at. Even if they're not good at it, try to find something they enjoy, because I think when they enjoy something, then they're happier. And when you have a happier child at home, everything just falls into place. And they might meet people who share the same interests. Don't keep them at home. I don't know if people still do that, but I remember when I was a young mom with a child on the spectrum, everybody was saying they can't leave their house, they're scared of tantrums.
Right.
But you know what? You'll never know what your child is capable of until you push them to do things that you normally wouldn't. So, life goes on, and take care of yourself too. You have to.
Oh, yes. You always need to have time for yourself as well, right? We moms need that me time every now and then. But you know what, what you are doing for Luis is just absolutely amazing and heartwarming. I'm at a loss for words, but thank you for what you do. And you are an amazing mom. Thank you for joining us today, Chie Gaerlan. And advance happy birthday to Luis.
Thank you very much for having me. Now, the degree.
Thank you so much. Chie Gaerlan, ladies and gentlemen.
Where do we draw the line between healing and setting boundaries with a difficult parent? Coach V will talk about that on Love Hacks live after the break. It's a beautiful day. We'll be right back.
Welcome back. You're still watching It's a Beautiful Day. A family feud sheds a light on Filipinos' concept of boundaries. This after Dennis Padilla lashed out online about being invited as a guest in his own daughter, Claudia Barreto's wedding. But Claudia's mom, Marjorie Barreto, recently broke her silence to say Dennis was not there for their kids as a father. Coach V unpacks this family drama in today's Love Hacks. Take it away, Coach V.
Love hacks, we got you. No need to be sad. Love hacks, we got you.
Good morning, loves. It's a beautiful day. Coach V here, your go-to love solution provider, bringing you a brand new way to level up your love life. Welcome to Love Hacks. Okay, loves, today's episode, not your usual fairy tale wedding story. We're talking about what happens when daddy and daughter dance becomes a public heartbreak. No, this isn't a teleserye. This is real life. Wedding gone viral lang naman ang moment of Claudia Barreto and Dennis Padilla. And more importantly, why does this matter to you, to me, and to every Filipinos who's ever said, Papa, bakit parang kasalanan ko? Now let's talk about love, boundaries, and the pain we don't post on the family group chat. Here's what went down, loves. Claudia Barreto got married. Quiet ceremony, intimate, classy. But what wasn't quiet? Nako, her dad, Dennis Padilla, going full heartbreak press tour after the wedding. Here's what he said. I wasn't part of the program. No father of the bride moment. I wasn't even formally invited. Parang bisita lang ako. Oof, that hit like your tita's backhanded comment at Christmas dinner. Even spicier, love, Marjorie Barreto, Claudia's mom, who clapped back, saying Dennis agreed not to walk her down the aisle. He knew. He smiled. He took photos. He was there. But after the wedding, he went public with the pain. Let's get real. This isn't just about Claudia or Dennis. This is about every Filipino family that loves hard but also hurts quietly. We are the land of manahimik ka na lang, anak, o respeto sa magulang, o kaya naman pamilya pa rin yan. But what if love means walking alone down the aisle? Because peace is more important than the picture-perfect moment. According to therapist Dr. Nicole Lepera, general trauma lives in silence, and healing starts when someone chooses truth over tradition, even if it breaks the mold, love, and even if it breaks the internet. Now, so what can we take from this wedding twist? Number one, we've learned that healing isn't always pretty. It's not always in speeches of I love yous, anak, or sometimes it's in the silence. Sometimes it's in saying, thank you for coming, but I need my space. Number two, don't post your pain to prove a point. If you're the hurt parent, here's the truth bomb. Going public won't win private love back. Apologize na lang. Repair, repeat, do it privately. Number three, boundaries don't mean you don't love them. They mean you love yourself too, even if the whole barangay doesn't understand. And number four, if you are the child, you're allowed to honor your healing, even if it disappoints the people who raised you.
Because I have a lot to say about this topic. I don't really know who these people are. I'm just gonna say, but I've read the whole thing, right? Because it's going viral on
Very
social
much
media.
so, yes.
But I think the dad, Dennis, he's so wrong in all levels. First and foremost, to air out his dirty laundry, that was so wrong. If he had a problem with the wedding and how it was handled and how he was just a guest, he could have just went to the daughter and his ex-wife for it. He didn't have to go public. Second, they didn't even have a relationship, the daughter and the father. So for him to be even invited to the wedding, I think that is honorable enough. I feel like that's the respect.
Yeah.
And that Marjorie girl said that he already knew he wasn't gonna get to walk his daughter down the aisle.
Yeah.
So if he knew, then what's the problem?
What's
That's just so annoying. I'm sorry. I hate when people air out their private, you know.
Yeah, even if you're an
public-
artista,
yeah.
all the more, if you're an artista, just don't, reveal all these things in public. And I feel like maybe he felt like he was an outsider in his own daughter's wedding. But first and foremost, just like what Mo said, you don't have a relationship with your daughter. So you can't really expect anything new in this wedding just because it's a big occasion, right? And you know what? I checked some of the comments on social media about this whole matter, and you see Filipinos, because we're so conservative, we're so family oriented, and
I saw some of the comments
and
too,
people are just saying that daddy mo pa rin yan, tatay mo
what
pa
a
rin yan, so you should forgive him. But it's so easy to talk about this matter if you're not in the same situation, or even if you were in the same situation, you can't expect people to react the same way. So if you maybe one of the people who commented, maybe that person is in the same situation, but she or he forgave the father, but maybe for the Barretos, it's a totally different ballgame.
I feel like it's a very Filipino thing, and I just learned about it, the utang ng loob.
Utang na loob.
Yeah, so that's like a thing here that I had no idea, which I understand. Yes, your parents are your parents, but like we've been talking about during the show, there's a boundary. And that boundary has been broken in this case. And especially, like I feel bad for the girl who got married, because this was her day.
Yeah.
Like I didn't even realize how beautiful her gown looked, how she looked, her makeup and hair, because all I was thinking was the family issue.
Yes,
so I feel
exactly.
bad.
Yes, and of course for people, status, privacy is luxury.
Exactly.
It's your family member who actually, crossed that boundary.
So how do you
nawala
work
yung privacy.
around that, Coach V? How do you not cross the boundary, and how do you maybe have a more open mind to it?
So you've made a very important point that it doesn't matter their family. It doesn't mean that they are already, entitled to your access to you, because sometimes the people that we love, or sometimes our family members, is our number one abusers.
Right,
exactly.
And it's so tough when you are a child, because as Filipinos, you're supposed to give that respect and honor, or else you will be bashed. Because I've seen initially they were bashing the bride for honoring her husband, not knowing the backstory, which is, of course, when a person has this tendency to always portray themselves as a victim, it's actually a strong sign of narcissism.
Yes.
But of course, there's more to that. But anyway, loves, to the Claudias out there, if you're a daughter who has been in this kind of situation, you're not selfish for walking down the aisle solo. You're brave for choosing your peace over performance. To the Dennises naman, it's not too late to love better. Quieter, deeper, and more respectfully. Love is not about the moment you post. It's not about the memory they want to keep. So remember, love, in the Philippines kasi we say, blood is thicker than water. But here's the truth. Respect should be thicker than tradition. And healing, real healing, sometimes starts with a heartbreak. That's it for today, loves. This is Coach V giving you real talk about real love. My family chika ka ba? Or heartbreaks that don't make it to Instagram, send it to us at Dating Coach V. Let's not just talk about love, let's solve it. Join me again tomorrow and have a beautiful day. Love you.
Such an interesting topic for today. Yeah, and timely too, because people are talking about this matter.
Well, and I also want to know, I want to go back to what I just learned recently about the utang ng loob.
Utang na loob.
Utang ng loob.
Utang na loob.
Utang na loob.
Very good.
Okay,
You're doing well.
That one, the utang na loob.
Utang na loob.
Yes.
There you go.
Okay, yes, what she said.
Yes,
I'm not going to say it anymore. So I want to talk about that because, I've read a lot of comments like Anne has, I'm sure you have too, Coach V, where people are saying that's still your dad. So you should respect him. So how do you respond to that? Like the whole love hack that we've talked about today.
Yeah.
we're kind of unpacking boundaries, but it's easier said than done, right? When people say, "Oh, that's your dad. He, brought you into this world. You owe him your life."
But you know what? I feel like Claudia wasn't being disrespectful in any way. She invited him to the wedding, right? It's
Right,
just
that's
that
why.
he did not walk her down the aisle. Because when you do that, the walking down the aisle, because I got married already, and my dad and my mom walked me down the aisle, both of them, because I grew up with their love, surrounded by their love. So you want that person to be someone who's really significant.
Right.
In your life.
And that was
her mom.
Yeah.
Right? That was the mom.
So what's wrong with that?
Yeah.
And it's not like she picked another guy to be her dad figure,
Exactly,
right?
exactly.
I mean, I feel like that's another topic, but the fact that he was just invited still.
Yeah.
And like,
She wasn't
you
being
saw in all the
disrespectful
photos,
at
he
all.
was smiling. Like, he was okay. He just was not the center of attention.
Oh, that's a very good point.
Maybe that's why he's so pissed.
Yeah. But of course, there's a lot of backstory to this, no? But one thing that you ladies made a very good point about, that occasion was supposed to be handed to the daughter because that was her day. And now this gives us, it makes us think na, sabi nga ni Marjorie Padilla, sabi niya, she was talking about dating, choosing the right person, because it made sense when she said, you know what, when you date and I'm gonna tawag dyan, this is not exactly the same that line that she said, but the point was it's important to choose right, because if you marry wrong, you as a person, you can divorce or annul that person.
Right.
But you know who cannot cut that line?
their ties.
It's your children.
Yeah, right. Yes.
Who will suffer if you chose the wrong person.
They're going to be connected to that person
Forever.
for the rest of their lives.
Well, and it's sad. I feel like I've seen like a lot of family feuds between this family. It's not just this wedding, right? He aired out a bunch of dirty laundry with his other daughter that's famous. I feel like he just airs out a lot of family issues that shouldn't be brought about to the public.
Right.
Well, it's annoying.
Or maybe sabi nga nila, well, attention is currency nowadays, so we don't know.
I think the lesson here is never settle.
Never settle.
Yeah.
And choose right, my love.
Choose right.
Choose right.
Yeah.
Choose your baby daddy wisely. And that's how we're gonna end today's show.
Very practical.
Yeah.
From all the girls.
Yeah. Choose wisely and never ever settle. That is the lesson for today. And that is it for us today, Monday, April 14. Before we go, can I just say happy birthday to my daughter. She is turning 13 today. Happy birthday, Aria. I'm Anne Asis-Carilo. Make today unforgettable by choosing joy and spreading love and kindness wherever you go.
And I'm Monique Tuzon. I hope you all have a great Monday ahead. Join us again tomorrow at 7 a.m. to 8:30 a.m. only here on
It's a Beautiful Day.